All right, it is the 5th of March. I'm getting the system down. If you notice that I have a little bit more energy, this is coffee. I haven't done coffee in probably a couple of years because my teeth were getting brown. And then I heard about the pH thing, so I stopped it. But we had people over for Cliff's birthday party yesterday. He turned 40. Big ups, Cliff. Getting another day older. And there was a half a pot of coffee left, and I don't like wasting, so I put a little bit of coffee, probably on the decanter, 2 servings, so that would be, like 12 ounces, because I believe they go by 6-ounce servings. In any case, I make some coffee in with my shake, with the apple, and the Isagenix, and the baked soda, and cinnamon, and a whole bunch of stuff, my vitamins, and green from anti-cocoa, green liquid, Ionic Supreme, of course, and the coffee, and obviously I am stimulated. So without further ado, this is John Anderson, Dr. John Anderson of the Isagenix and Women Are From Mars, no, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus fame, and away we go.
And welcome back, Dr. John Gray with us. John, they're lining up here to chat with you and ask you questions, but let me ask you this. What would you do? How would you treat depression nowadays? Because I've had a number of doctors who've said basically what you have, and that is we have to get people off these drugs. But what do we do?
All right, well, I do have a more outlined protocol on my website, but real short, this is a good enough one.
All right.
Is you have these extra supplements I'm going to mention, but you don't go off your drug until you start taking them, and then you feel better within at least a week. You will feel better.
And you really shouldn't go off it without consulting the doc, right?
You need, if you're on the doctor's care, you need to say to them, I'm only after you're feeling better, then you say, I'm now wanting to go off of this and want you to recommend a protocol. You don't say, should I go off of it, because then they're legally liable and afraid to say anything. So you say, I want to go off of it, and I want your recommendation.
I want to go off of it.
And my recommendation is that you don't even take that step until you're taking a set of, the adjustments I'm going to recommend, but you have to feel much better, and you will feel much better very quickly. Then you can start going off of them, and you're slowly doing it. I hear stories from people, they'll cut it, after a few weeks on the supplements, they'll cut it down by a third, then cut it down after a month by another third, and then gradually taper off. You don't want to do it suddenly, because the antidepressant actually causes serotonin desensitivity in the brain, which means you have to upregulate serotonin receptor sites. You have to restore the mechanism to make serotonin in your body. And most people who have depression, they're depleted of the brain mineral lithium. So lithium orotate is the key active ingredient that puts everything else is insignificant compared to that in my experience. Taking extra omega-3 is very important. You can't do enough of it.
Fish oil, basically.
Yeah, the fish oil. There's a form of fish oil which is accompanied by called Vectomega that I have at my website. I like best because it's in a form that goes right to the brain. The key is to get this stuff into the brain. But anyway, good fish oil. But fish oil alone does not do it in my experience. The only time it really works alone is for women who have just given birth to a baby and they have postpartum depression. Usually that's because their omega-3 went to make the baby's brain, and they're deficient in the omega-3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's a real key thing. And sometimes it's your second baby you'll experience the most, and because you've just depleted your body of the omega-3 storehouse. So omega-3 is good for that, but particularly most depressions are directly linked to high carbohydrate consumption and high blood sugar levels, which means they're going to be deficient in lithium orotate. So the recommendation is don't need to take more than 25 milligrams a day.
I hope you're listening to this,
4 or 5 little
Jamie.
Capsules a day maximum. Anything more than that is not
sugar.
necessary. So you've got that, and then you want a super easy to digest protein. Now the reason for that, George, is so important because as soon as you're depressed or stressed, as soon as cortisol levels are going up, and if you're taking an antidepressant, this is amazing statistic, as soon as you take one antidepressant, your cortisol levels double from that point on, and they just get higher and higher.
Cortisol kills healthy cells,
What happens when your cortisol, that's the stress hormone, is high, it inhibits the digestion of protein. And so most people who are depressed or stressed can't digest their protein well, and that then inhibits the production of brain chemicals, because brain chemicals need protein. They need phenylalanine to make the dopamine, and they need tryptophan to make the serotonin. And so you want to be able to improve your digestion. And a 5,000-year-old remedy for depression and any sickness, really, because you want to help the brain during any time your body is stressed, is what was called in India buttermilk, but it's the milk that's left over after you take the butter or the fat out of it.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's basically whey protein. So whey protein, along with lithium orotate and cutting back your sugar consumption.
And white bread.
And yeah, people need to know that white bread, 2 pieces of white bread, is the same as eating 2 tablespoons of white sugar.
Oh my
God.
gosh, tablespoons.
And that's measurable in terms of our blood sugar spike.
No wonder kids are bouncing off the wall.
That's right, that's right. And, you know, when I was a kid, I had ADD because I ate so much sugar. For males, particularly, sugar will cause ADD. And for females, sugar tends to cause mood swings, which can lead to depression.
All right, let's go to the phones. Matt in Hercules, California. Get us started here, Matt. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thanks.
Conversation. I've just got 2 quick comments. Doctor, I thought what you've been discussing I went through a couple months ago, and what turned out to be just an inability of my body's inability to absorb key nutrients like the whey protein and essential fatty acids through the standard pharmacies that have had me on anxiety pills, sleeping pills, depression pills, and it was literally what you're saying. It was just an imbalance in my body of inability to get the key nutrients, and what you're saying is just absolutely awesome, and I hope everybody goes out and takes your advice, because it's terrible what's going on right now.
Well, let me give you another statistic on what's going on right now. I'm a consultant for a hospital group on the East Coast. They have 50,000 employees. 25,000 of those employees are taking antidepressants.
Oh
25,000 of the 50?
Yes.
Huge.
Oh my God.
That's because it's given out like candy now. It's really like taking drugs. It's just a drug that will numb people to their suffering, but it just makes it worse and worse, as our caller is mentioning.
Are they addictive, John?
Yes, what you get is a dependency on it. More of the dopamine-type drugs, those are addictive in the sense that you crave them. When it comes to the antidepressants, you don't crave them. Your body has a dependence on them in order to feel numb. And if you don't feel numb, then you feel really empty. So it becomes a different kind of dependence than something like an alcohol or cocaine or Ritalin or Adderall addiction.
Let's go to Barbara in Clackamas, Oregon, west of the Rockies. Hey, Barb, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for this program tonight. Oh my gosh, this is what I've been needing to talk to somebody about.
Well, you got it.
Thank you so much. For 8 years, I took Adderall and Xanax because I have chronic anxiety, and after years of therapy, they decided I had adult ADD. My family encouraged me a year ago to stop taking them, and so I just stopped taking them. So the Adderall and the Xanax.
Was it tough to stop?
A year, I just stopped. For a year, I have been on a couch, hardly able to get up and do anything.
Oh my!
It's like my brain has a giant block in it.
You mean ever since you stopped, you've just been shut down?
Yes, absolutely.
This is what happens, George. Is the drugs? They don't do anything to help the body heal the condition that created the problem. They just flatten out what's called the receptor sites so that nothing is stimulating. So she feels flat, she feels down. And you just started on what I mentioned before, is at my website I've got a wonderful little shake. You just go, there's pre-made for you. It's got all the minerals in it, it's got the protein in it, it's got, low sugar in it, so it's pre-made for you. Just do that for a few months and you'll just be flying, along with what I recommended before, the super minerals. So
you can just... It sounds so easy, and I've been in such torment.
I know. I get letters every day of people thanking me for informing them. Even my next-door neighbor, who's an extremely successful person, said, I'm just depressed. I don't know what it is, and went to a psychiatrist who's going to prescribe some $350 worth of antidepressants. And he says, are you sure I should do it? I said, try this little bottle, $14 for a 3-month supply. And the person came back to me a week later and said, that did it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. God bless you guys.
We want to hear from you, Barb, afterward, okay?
And
Okay.
one other thing, we'd love to hear from you, and I certainly want to hear from you. And there's another thing just to start with, because once the hormones go out of balance, once you're stressed, you don't sleep well. Are you sleeping well?
She hung up.
gone.
She's so happy.
She's so happy.
You hung up on her.
Sometimes
Who you
in the
kidding?
beginning, you can, there's a lot of things at health food stores. My favorite is something called Tranquil Sleep. And it just has green tea extract in it, and melatonin can help people get back into a sleep rhythm and be able to fall asleep. Because once you're stressed or your blood sugar's off, you'll tend to wake up in the middle of the night and sometimes not be able to go back to sleep.
I'm beginning to hear, John, from a number of different sources and camps and circles that stress may be the biggest factor of medical decline.
That is.
All right. Well, like I always say, stress is the number one thing that makes all right, the way I normally say it is 4 out of the top 5 things that kill us as Americans are all worsened due to stress. So first and foremost, the lesson that I learned after my accident was to stress nothing, because the more you stress, the shorter your life span is. And I already did enough to shorten my lifespan. I don't want to shorten it anymore. But like I said, I feel like Benjamin Buttons lately, because I was a lot older coming out of my accident, after the coma, no muscles, scar tissue everywhere, I can't move, I'm like a grandpa. But now, I'm taking supplements, I'm doing this NRT thing where my body tells me what I need to take and what I'm done taking, and what the dosage is. It's a really amazing thing, and I feel awesome. And I can squat down to the ground and hold my knees and kiss my knees. I haven't been able to do that in years. In any case, coffee. I don't know if you noticed. Coffee. All right. So, basically, I love you guys. 6 things. Hopefully, I left you with a little bit of a cliffhanger and you come back. And if you do, I'll see you on the other side. If you don't, a couple times ago I said don't die. That was, I loved listening to Jason Ellis, and that's how he ends it. But you know what, if you die, it's alright, because everything sounds a lot better and feels a lot better on the other side. Wow, Julie hates this, my hair is all messed up. Alright, I love you guys, have a good one. Live in now, L-I-V-I-N-O-W. Alright, see ya.